She died, and I didn't even cry, not a single tear.
Nobody would have imagined that David's romantic homicide song was his murder plan until Celeste Rivas Hernandez's body was found in his Tesla. And with the newly released footage that just confirmed David's link to Celeste's murder, this might just be enough evidence for the feds to arrest the still-on-tour musician. The disappearance and the double life. Imagine this. A chart-topping singer adored by millions whose breakthrough single was literally titled Romantic Homicide. Now, picture this same artist's luxury Tesla being impounded only for police to discover the decomposed remains of a teenage girl inside the front trunk. This is not a scene from a Netflix true crime drama. This is the horrifying reality that has unfolded around David, the 20-year-old indie and B-star whose music once soundtracked heartbreak on TikTok. The victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California, had been missing for over a year. The revelation of her identity has not only shattered her family, but also ignited one of the most chilling debates in modern music culture. How much of David's art was genuine art, and how much was a confession? Celeste Marie Rivas Hernandez was born on September 7, 2009 in Riverside County, California. She was part of a tight-knit working-class Latino family in Lake Senor, a small community about 80 miles southeast of Los Angeles. Standing at 5 feet 1 inch in and weighing roughly 120 pounds, Celeste had wavy dark brown hair, brown eyes, and a playful personality that friends described as outgoing but vulnerable. Her appearance carried markers of Gen Z culture from TikTok-inspired fashion to a distinctive red ink shindex finger, a trend embraced by influencers and young celebrities. That tattoo would later play a haunting role in her identification. Neighbors remembered her as a good student and happy child. Though like many teens, she wrestled with periods of rebellion and family tension. Celeste loved music, social media, and harbored dreams of pursuing creative projects of her own. Despite her outgoing nature, those closest to Celeste noticed she had been more withdrawn in the months leading up to her disappearance. Her best friend, who asked to remain anonymous, later told investigators that Celeste had been secretive about someone she was talking to online and had become increasingly protective of her phone. The friend described noticing changes in Celeste's behavior. She seemed happier at times, but also more anxious, constantly checking messages and seeming distracted during conversations. On the evening of April 5, 2024, Celeste vanished. Her older brother, Matthew, later told reporters they had planned a simple night out, just a movie together in Lake Elsinore. But somewhere between leaving home and arriving at the theater, Celeste disappeared without a trace. The night had started normally. Celeste had been in a good mood, Matthew recalled, excited about seeing the latest horror film they'd been planning to watch for weeks. She'd spent extra time getting ready, choosing her outfit carefully. Gray pants, a black sweater, a hat, and her favorite Hello Kitty sandals. It was a look that perfectly captured her personality. Part teenager trying to be cool. Part girl who still loved the innocent joy of cartoon characters. The plan was straightforward. Matthew would pick her up around 7 p.m. They'd grab dinner at their favorite Mexican restaurant and then head to the movie theater for the 9:15 showing. But when Matthew arrived at their meeting spot, a small park near their home where they often met before their outings, Celeste was nowhere to be found. Initially, Matthew assumed she was running late. Celeste was notorious in their family for losing track of time, especially when she was on her phone. He waited for 20 minutes, texting her repeatedly before calling their mother. Maria Hernandez immediately felt something was wrong. Celeste might be occasionally late, but she always answered her phone when family called. The search began that very night. Matthew drove around their neighborhood, checking all of Celeste's usual hangout spots. The local coffee shop where she liked to study, the small park where she sometimes met friends, even the mall where she worked a part-time job at a clothing store. Maria contacted Celeste's friends, but none had seen her since school ended that day. What made the disappearance particularly unsettling was that Celeste had left behind her wallet and identification. Her phone, however, was missing. The last activity on her social media account showed her posting a selfie around 6 p.m. with the caption, "Movie night with my bro." But she never made it to that meeting. She was last seen wearing gray pants, a black sweater, a hat, and Hello Kitty sandals. According to her missing persons flyer, initially police classified her as a possible runaway, a tragically common stance when teenagers go missing. With no immediate signs of foul play, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office placed her case on a lower priority list. But to her family, this wasn't just a runaway. Her mother, Maria Hernandez, insisted something was wrong. She plastered posters across their community, pleaded with local media, and refused to let her daughter's case fade. When interviewed months later, Maria admitted she'd already had suspicions about a boy in Celeste's life. Her boyfriend's name was David. "I just want answers for my baby." For the next 16 months, the Hernandez family lived in limbo, holding on to fading hope while desperately seeking leads. As Celeste's family agonized over her disappearance, another story was taking shape in the music world. A teenager from Houston named David Anthony Burke, known to fans as David, was rocketing to viral fame. In 2022, his song Romantic Homicide, a haunting indie ballad recorded in his sister's closet on an iPhone, exploded across TikTok, eventually peaking at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100. The success of Romantic Homicide was unlike anything the music industry had seen in recent years. What started as a bedroom recording by a teenager with no industry connections became a global phenomenon virtually overnight. The song's melancholic melody and introspective lyrics about lost love resonated with millions of young listeners who saw their own heartbreak reflected in David's words. David's rise coincided with a broader shift in how music was discovered and consumed. TikTok had become the new radio, with 15-second clips determining which songs would dominate the charts. His aesthetic mysterious, artistic, slightly dark, perfectly aligned with what Gen Z crave. Authenticity mixed with just enough enigma to keep them intrigued. Behind the scenes, David was reportedly a shy, introspective teenager who preferred the anonymity of online interactions to face-to-face encounters. Those who worked with him in the early days described him as intensely creative, but also somewhat isolated. He spent most of his time in his room writing music, playing video games, and engaging with fans through various social media platforms. The blindfolded character that appeared in his music videos became his signature image. A mysterious figure that fans interpreted as everything from a representation of emotional numbness to a symbol of artistic vision unclouded by external influences. David himself rarely explained the symbolism, preferring to let fans create their own interpretation.
But the 4 is like, I replaced the A with it, took out the I. And the 4 is like an ongoing D4vd lore. Like, it's 4 universes with all these different characters.
Oh, interesting.
I'm building out this like cinematic universe. In the future is gonna be like a whole bunch of different stuff. I can't spoil too much now, but it's like I got this blindfold character that you see in my music videos that's gonna expand into like these different antagonists and protagonists and like a whole anime thing. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
To fans, David wasn't just another singer. He was creating an entire world, blending heartbreak lyrics with cinematic storytelling. His cult-like following grew, fueled by his reclusive personality and enigmatic online presence. The community that formed around his music was intensely loyal, with fans analyzing every lyric, every visual element in his videos, and every social media post for hidden meanings. The parallel stories of Celeste's disappearance and David's rise created an unwitting intersection that would later prove chillingly significant. While the Hernandez family desperately searched for their missing daughter, David's fan base was growing exponentially, particularly among teenage girls who connected deeply with his emotional vulnerability and artistic vision. His Discord servers became gathering places for fans to discuss not just his music, but their own struggles with depression, anxiety, and relationship issues. The community that formed was intensely personal, with David himself occasionally joining conversations and offering support to fans going through difficult times. This direct interaction created a sense of intimacy that many fans had never experienced with a celebrity. The demographic overlap was striking. David's core audience consisted largely of teenage girls aged 13, 17, the same demographic as Celeste. Many fans saw him as more than just a musician. He was a kindred spirit who understood their pain and could articulate feelings they struggled to express themselves. This emotional connection made his music feel like a lifeline for many young people dealing with mental health challenges. What made David's appeal particularly powerful was his apparent authenticity. Unlike manufactured pop stars, he seemed genuinely vulnerable and accessible. His lyrics dealt with themes of isolation, heartbreak, and emotional numbness that resonated deeply with a generation facing unprecedented levels of mental health challenges. The fact that he was close to their own age made his success feel attainable and his struggles relatable. The tattoo culture surrounding his brand also played a significant role in his appeal. The shadow tattoo became a symbol of belonging among his fan base, with many followers getting similar tattoos as a way of expressing their connection to his message and community. Social media was filled with photos of fans showing off their David-inspired ink, creating a visual network of devotion that spanned across continents. This cultural phenomenon would later take on a darker significance when investigators began examining the connection between David and his fans, particularly in light of Celeste's own chateau and her family's revelation about her boyfriend named David. But as his fame grew, online whispers began to surface. Screenshots circulated of alleged Discord conversations between a user named Celeste and accounts linked to David. Photos resurfaced showing him with a girl who bore a striking resemblance to Celeste Rivas. Critics claimed this was the beginning of a grooming relationship that started in 2022 when Celeste was only 12 years old. Authorities never confirmed these allegations, and many threads were dismissed as internet speculation, but in hindsight, the eerie overlaps are impossible to ignore. Both Celeste and David had the same shadow. Celeste reportedly told her mother her boyfriend's name was David. A leaked, unreleased song from 2023 titled Celeste resurfaced after her body was found. Whether these were chilling coincidences or signs of something deeper, the stage was being set for one of the most shocking discoveries in recent music history. The body in the Tesla. The news spread like wildfire. A car, a Tesla, abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. A foul odor was reported by 2 yard workers. And then the unimaginable human remains wrapped in plastic discovered in the front trunk. This was no ordinary Tesla. It was registered to David, the rising NDR and B star who just a year earlier had been performing on late-night shows and headlining his first major tour. In a single moment, his carefully built universe of cinematic heartbreak songs collided with the harshest reality imaginable, a homicide investigation. On September 8, 2025, workers at Hollywood Tow, a lot on North Mansfield Avenue in Los Angeles, noticed a foul stench seeping from a black Tesla Model 3 that had been impounded days earlier after sitting abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. When LAPD officers pried open the car's the front trunk, they were met with a horrifying sight. Inside was a human body wrapped tightly in black plastic. The remains were badly decomposed, weighing only 71 pounds, suggesting weeks of decay, mutilation, or both. Fragments of clothing still clung to the body. A white tube top, black leggings, a yellow chain bracelet, and stud earrings. Every item matched the missing persons flyer that had circulated when 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez vanished in April 2024. And then came the detail that froze her mother in place, a SH tattoo etched in red ink on the girl's right index finger. It was the same tattoo Maria Hernandez had once begged police to look at when her daughter first went missing. The confirmation would come days later through dental records and DNA, but in her heart, Maria already knew. "I knew it was my baby." The description matched everything. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office described the remains as not intact. The decomposition suggested the death had occurred weeks earlier, though the official report listed September 8th as the provisional date pending toxicology and trauma results. The wrapping in heavy plastic pointed toward concealment, a deliberate act. While the exact cause of death was deferred, investigators treated the case as a homicide from the outset. Adding to the intrigue, reports indicated that Tesla may have been parked for anywhere between 5 days to a full month before it was towed. If the car's Sentry Mode cameras had been active, they could have recorded who left it there, but no footage has yet been released. The grief was overwhelming, but so was the outrage. How could a missing girl's remains end up in the car of a world-famous artist? The Tesla was registered to David Anthony Burke. David police quickly confirmed he was not in Los Angeles at the time of the discovery. He was mid-tour performing in Minneapolis on September 9th and scheduled to play Seattle on September 17th. His team issued a statement emphasizing his cooperation. David has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. Still, the circumstantial overlaps were staggering. The SH tattoo shared by both Celeste and David, Celeste's boyfriend's name, David, alleged Discord chats between her and accounts tied to the singer, and a rumored unreleased track titled Celeste recorded in late 2023 exposed. To the public, these were not coincidences. They were breadcrumbs in a disturbing narrative. In the immediate aftermath, David led his Seattle show, citing unforeseen circumstances. He then went silent on social media, posting only a cryptic 6-7 in before vanishing from public platforms. Brands pulled collaborations. Crocs and Hollister quietly shelved marketing campaigns featuring the singer. Meanwhile, streams of romantic homicide surged again, this time morbidly linked to the real-life tragedy it now seemed to foreshadow. Public discourse split sharply. Accusatory voices on X declared him guilty, drawing parallels between his lyrics and the gruesome discovery. Defensive voices urged restraint, warning against a digital witch hunt without formal charges. One viral comment summed up the divide. Either this is the most disturbing coincidence in music history, or it's a confession that's been hiding in plain sight. What made the case even more surreal was how much of it seemed to mirror David's own artistry. His breakout single Romantic Homicide depicts a lover killing his girlfriend and feeling no remorse. The music video, released on September 7, 2022, coincidentally Celeste's birthday, includes a scene where his blindfolded alter ego shoots a girlfriend before cradling her body in the rain. The eerie timing and imagery fueled theories that art had crossed into...
It's all of those, man.
Yeah?
It's all of them. I try to include a piece of myself in every part of the music, but I try to get like every different perspective I can, every possible perspective, every possible like viewpoint.
But now with Celeste's body in his car, fans re-examined every lyric and every visual. What once looked like metaphor now seemed like evidence. Music, murder, and media frenzy. By the time Celeste Rivas' body was identified, the story had already grown beyond a homicide investigation. This wasn't just about a missing teenager anymore. It was about an artist whose biggest hit was called Romantic Homicide. It was about music videos that seemed to foreshadow the crime. It was about leaked chats, cryptic tattoos, and a rumored track named after the victim herself. What followed was one of the most chaotic media firestorms in recent history, a trial by social media where millions debated whether David's art was a metaphor, a warning, or a confession. Recorded on an iPhone in his sister's closet, the track went viral on TikTok and became the soundtrack of countless heartbreak edits. But in hindsight, the lyrics now feel sinister. In the back of my mind, you died and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear. Fans scoured the footage for connections. The actress's curly dark hair resembling Celeste. The stylized death eerily similar to how her real body was concealed. The date aligning with her birthday. The symbolism that once looked like an artistic metaphor suddenly became Exhibit A in the court of public opinion. On the Zach Sang show years earlier, David had explained his creative...
I feel like I'm more comfortable with expressing myself and connecting with people in a way that I feel is speaking without singing. Because when I think of singing, it's like, okay, it's this cool thing that not everybody can do, but everybody can speak. Like I'm talking to you guys right now. That's my view on like Romantic Homicide, and Here With Me is like anybody could have made those songs.
Totally. But now critics weren't convinced. The internet began to argue. Maybe anybody could write about heartbreak, but not everybody ended up with a missing girl's body in their car. The frenzy escalated when a clip of an unreleased demo began circulating online titled Celeste. The track was allegedly recorded in December 2023. Its lyrics, according to one viral X post, referenced innocence lost in a girl who slipped away. Skeptics pointed out the leak could be fake or misattributed. But for many, the mere existence of a song by that name felt like too much of a coincidence. One comment that gained traction read, "He didn't just write about homicide. He named the victim. This isn't art. It's evidence." The alleged connection between David and Celeste went deeper than lyrics. Online sleuth resurfaced screenshots from Discord servers dating back to 2022, when Celeste was just 12 years old. The messages showed casual banter between a user named Celeste and an account believed to belong to David. If authentic, the chats could suggest early grooming, a pattern of older celebrities forming inappropriate connections with underage fans. While law enforcement has not verified these logs, the allegations tapped into broader cultural scars, echoing cases like R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein. The fact that Celeste had told her mother she was dating someone named David only intensified suspicions. Times of India. Another flashpoint. The shadow. Celeste had it inked in red on her right index finger. Fans quickly pointed out that David also had the same tattoo. Some insisted it was a couple's tattoo, proof of their relationship, but defenders countered that the tattoo is common, worn by celebrities from Rihanna to Lindsay Lohan. The overlap could be coincidence. Still, in the context of everything else, it became yet another piece of evidence in the narrative woven online. By mid-September, the case dominated global headlines. From Rolling Stone to the New York Post, every outlet dissected the story. Social media platforms became battlegrounds of speculation. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like #Justice for Celeste trended. Posts accused David of being a murderer, a predator, a manipulator hiding in plain sight. One viral thread compiled alleged evidence overlaying his lyrics with photos of Celeste. But others urged caution, warning against digital vigilantism. Without formal charges, was it fair to label him guilty? Could innocent coincidences be twisted into a damning narrative? One editorial from NBC put it bluntly, the line between southing and slander is dangerously thin. The controversy also sparked broader debates about accountability in the music industry. Critics asked, how did no one notice the potential red flags earlier? His breakout song literally depicted a homicide. Rumors about underage fans had floated online for years. Why did labels and brands continue to platform him? Others argued that conflating art with criminal behavior was unfair. As one defender wrote, if every songwriter who sang about death was guilty of murder, half the music industry would be in prison. Still, the parallels were undeniable and for many, too chilling to dismiss. As of now, the case remains active. The LAPD and Riverside County Sheriff's Office are leading the homicide inquiry with federal agencies monitoring possible interstate elements. No formal charges have been filed against David. His team maintains that he is fully cooperating and his tour schedule, flights, and hotel records provide him with an alibi during the time frame Celeste's body is believed to have been placed in the Tesla. Forensic reports on cause of death and toxicology are still pending. The delay in answers only fuels speculation. Lost in the celebrity headlines is a harsh truth. Celeste's case was initially deprioritized because she was classified as a runaway. Like many missing teens, her disappearance didn't command urgent resources. Her death underscores systemic failures in how authorities treat missing minors, especially girls from working class or minority backgrounds. Her words echo beyond her own tragedy, resonating with countless families still searching for missing loved ones. Today, Celeste's story is both a tragedy and a warning. For her family, the nightmare of loss will never fade. For fans of David, his music is forever changed. No longer just melancholic ballads, but potential evidence of something darker. And for society, the case raises urgent questions. Where's the line between art and confession? How should we hold public figures accountable when minors are involved? And in an age where social media can turn speculation into truth overnight, how do we balance justice with restraint? Until investigators provide definitive answers, the mystery remains. But one thing is certain. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was more than a victim in someone else's story. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a life that mattered. As the sun sets over Los Angeles, the black Tesla sits in a police impound lot. Its metallic shell holding the echoes of a nightmare in the back of our minds like the song that made him famous. A chilling thought lingers. Did the music predict the murder, or did the murder inspire the music? Either way, one girl is gone, one star is under fire, and a community is left demanding justice. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.